Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here. Thought I'd do a quick update. I am off this week, but the weather never sleeps. Let's take a look here. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, question or comment, share the video. Let's take a look here. Yeah, we got a big tropical wave coming off the Cape Verde area of Africa. Look at this as well. This is Invest 96L, but the key here is the reason there hasn't been much development is the wind shear is just so incredible here. Look at there's our other system that we've been watching, but I'm not overly impressed with these systems. And as this pattern along the East Coast, it's been a little bit cooler as of late. Yeah, it looks like that troughiness could be kicking back in, especially next week. We'll take a look at all the details here. So we're starting off here with the European model, and we'll progress towards the GFS. There is our Invest 96L system. This is the system that should have developed a while ago, and it hasn't, and I'm really doubting at this point it's really actually going to take off. Although stranger things have happened across the North Atlantic here. This area appears where we had Hurricane Dora not too long ago, a week or so ago. There's our next system here approaching from the west. Could this actually develop? Well, there's a lot of wind shear up here. Not going to lie there, so it is, I don't know. And it's not going to really affect any land either, so it really doesn't matter much. Now, the intertropical convergence zone down here, as we continue through the rest of the week, it does look a little bit robust here, but not any one system looks that significant. And it's kind of sinking towards the south there as we head towards August 5th. Look at this. I am shocked here. The Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean, which is seeing bathwater at this point. There's no development, and you have to blame El Nino for this, because if this was not an El Nino year, we would see massive explosion amount of storms. But since not only do we have all that upper level wind shear, but we also have all that dry air at mid layers, it's causing a big cap here. Now look, we do start to get some development of some of these waves here towards August 8th. So we're definitely going to see an uptick in precipitation as we go throughout the Lesser Antilles, parts of Puerto Rico, and eventually Dominican Republic here. So look at this as we head towards it's about the second week of August here. We start to get some big waves coming off. And the intertropical convergence zone starts to bounce a little bit farther to the north, and it really does start to look a bit more interesting. Also, there's a lot of moisture as this high pressure starts to build westward here, so we're going to have to watch the potential that maybe some of these waves might eke out along the east coast of the U.S. here. And the GFS here in the Atlantic, what is going on? So there's our two systems we're looking at here in the North Atlantic. Invest 96L right here in our other little tropical wave or disturbance, whatever you want to call it, at the tail end of that front. Yeah, those two systems kind of merge. Essentially, this front providing a lot of wind shear, so I'm not overly impressed with these systems. GFS going a little robust and further to the north in the European model as we head towards August 3rd here. Take a look at some strong waves out here, but they quickly succumb to that dry air and completely fizzle out here. We set into a period of very quietness here, almost surreal, across the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, and much of the main development region of the Atlantic. And let's take a look as we continue to go towards August 11th, 12th. Yeah, we start to see some bigger waves. The only problem is here just south of the Cape Verde Islands. Can they hold on? Well, let's continue to go in time here, and we will see. Our last frame here is not as impressive as it was on the European model, although we do still have some strong waves out here. So as we continue to look at the dry air and mid layers here, yeah, there is quite a bit there out in the MDR as we continue through Tuesday, August 8th. So yeah, our systems here in the North Atlantic, will these develop? It really doesn't matter at this point because they are heading away from land up to the North Atlantic. And as we continue here, those push to the north, yeah, we have another wave developing here potentially in the Central Atlantic. We'll continue to watch that here as we go through Sunday, August 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. Not looking pretty impressive and actually heading towards the north coast of South America here. So there's the big moisture plume coming off the Cape Verde area, just continuing really dry here at mid layers across the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. And as we continue in time here, look at that. This is towards August 12th there. That's a big surge of moisture with this tropical wave. Does this possibly have a chance? We have a few tropical waves by mid-August. There's the 15th. that look actually pretty promising. Let's take a look at the Euro. So here's the European run here. There's our moisture from our two systems up here in the North Atlantic. Here is the big wave coming off the coast of Africa. We'll definitely continue to watch it here. Nothing big here in the short term, but this, bears watching. Lots of moisture continuing in the ITCZ. One thing you're noticing, though, look how moist it is. Further to the south here, this ITCZ is a little too far to the south to get any major development here. So we'll continue to watch it here as we go through. There's August 9th, 10th. What's showing up here on the GFS, also showing up on the Euro. Look about this time. Big moisture surge a little bit further to the north here. Definitely want to watch this for mid-August. So taking a look at all of my Caribbean and Latin American viewers here. I know some of you American viewers want to know what this is because we're the only country basically mostly that measures rain in inches. Everybody else does it in millimeters. So yeah, essentially 80, 90 millimeters. This is approaching like 3.5 inches of rain. So you can see a big portion here, 100 millimeters here. That's 3.75, almost 4 inches of rain. Look at Jamaica here. So as we head towards mid-August here, you start to get some heavier downpours. 40 to 50 millimeters, so we're getting up towards 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches here. Lots of heavy rain back towards Puerto Rico and parts of Hispaniola as well. But the key takeaway here is look at the rest of the week across the Cayman Islands and Jamaica. You're not seeing much until we get towards the weekend into next week. We start to see a surge in tropical moisture towards August 10th and 11th. And as we head towards the Lesser Antilles to Puerto Rico, here you can see, here's the Lesser Antilles, and then there is Puerto Rico right there, island of Hispaniola, eastern Cuba. So, yeah, it's looking pretty dry, at least through Thursday and Friday here. We start to get upwards of, towards the middle of next week. We get a few of these tropical waves, which actually could provide upwards of 50 to as much as 80 millimeters. So we're getting up towards that 1.75 inches, upwards of 2.5 inches of rain. So that could be quite some beneficial rains here. And look at this. Yeah, the intertropical convergence zone is definitely not weak by any stretch of the imagination here. And thanks to Tropical Tidbits here, take a look at the satellite here of Khanun. Look at this. Very well-developed eye here. Here's some of the island chains of the southern Japanese islands here. So, yeah, it's passing just between a few of these here. You can see them here on the satellite photo. So hopefully this continues to kind of slowly head towards, away from this island chain. It is causing some problems here. You see the biggest ball of convection, though, is kind of between a lot of these islands, which is great news. But the problem is the storm's going to be moving so slow. And as we head out into the Western Pacific here, look at this Typhoon Khanun here. Look at this system. Yeah, this is quite a big deal here. 130, 140, 160 mile per hour gusts here. The system's going to slowly wobble towards the west here, and as you can see, the European model bringing it very close to the China coast here. There's Shanghai area. So if this system were to continue west-northwest, it would affect Shanghai, but it's not, because the prevailing westerlies here, southwesterly flow, we're going to continue to pivot that system towards the northeast. Could this actually affect the Japan area? Well, the southern islands here, look at this. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some problems here, but the Japanese main islands up here, not really looking at maybe landfall until you get to about, look at August 8th here. We're going to be looking at this system a while, and a lot can change with this, but this is kind of disturbing that it's bringing it up towards the Tokyo area. Now, regardless, it'll be a little bit weaker by then, which is great news, but look at that. This essentially is what is bringing that East Coast trough here. I just want to put that out there across the East Coast of North America. Any more systems out here? Well, by the 10th, we're looking at a system, southeast here of Japan. I haven't talked much about the Philippine Islands. Let's take a look here. You're actually looking much clearer here as we go in time. You're initially, at least through August 2nd and 3rd here, you're dealing with some moisture out of the southwest here as our big typhoon up here is bringing that moisture on that southwest flow. But watch as we go in time here. This is some great news for the Philippines. Look at this. You get some big clearing, and you go through a period of extreme clear here, which is beautiful, until you get to the southern Philippines, or right around the 8th, where you do get some showers into the 9th as well. So here's our big typhoon here, Khanun on the GFS. So let's take a look and see what's going to happen here. Yeah, this system's really going to continue westward here. Areas such as the southern chain here of the Japanese islands could definitely get hit pretty bad with this system as it kind of stalls over the region. You see that big old eye there. Let's just zoom out just a little bit there. You can see it in respect to Japan. Now, what happens towards the 5th, the 6th? GFS taking it a little bit further to the south and west. But the curious thing here, look what the GFS starts to do by the 10th and the 11th and brings it right between Japan and South Korea here. So this is something we're going to have to watch. Look at that. That would be some big time problems here. That eye wall bringing right up through parts of southern tip of Japan here into South Korea, which you've been inundated with a lot of rain, especially in Korea here, South Korea and North Korea, with tremendous amount of tropical moisture as of late. And as we continue in time, the GFS is a little more pessimistic by the 17th here than the European was. Look at this. Lots of showers and thunderstorms by this point across much of the Philippines here. And we're looking at a system that may start to develop here south of Taiwan. And Eastern Pacific here, we're looking at Tropical Storm Dora here. We do have another area that could develop in the next 7 days right where Dora is now. We have another system here back, towards this region. So we're going to have to watch this as this continues towards the west. That Dora is likely to become a major hurricane. It does not look like it's going to come close to Hawaii at this point at all, though. Let's take a look here. So as we continue, there is Dora. We're starting out right about here. There's our next system that could develop. And as we continue to go in time here, Dora continues to plow towards the southwest here, west-southwest, towards August 5th and 6th. So likely to become a major hurricane before trailing off. But we might actually look for some big swells from this system as it just passes south of Hawaii right around August 9th here. And the GFS here for the Eastern Pacific for our big hurricane that's likely to come up here as major Hurricane Dora. Look at this. Yeah. So, as we continue in time here, Dora is going to continue to be a rather small circulation. GFS takes it a little bit further to the north of guidance, but still by the 9th here, it is still south of the big island of Hawaii. So you can breathe a little bit sigh of relief. Just keep an eye on it here, especially if you're in the big island of Hawaii. Definitely some high surf. Now, our next system here of concern, as you can see, it plows up along the west coast here of Mexico, and it does come pretty close here, much closer than the European model had it. So these towns from Puerto Vallarta south towards Acapulco and these areas, definitely seeing some major waves, but you know what? At this point, it looks like it's going to stay mostly offshore, passing safely to the south Baja of California by August 6th here. Take a look at that. So that's some great news. It will start to weaken as it heads over the open, cooler waters of the Pacific. So as we take a look at the HRRR model here across the east, it is looking beautiful through the rest of your Tuesday night into Wednesday. Look at this across the northeast. If you have it off, you are just going to love it. We do have some thunderstorm complexes here in the central part of the country. We're going to continue to watch this for severe weather as we head from Nebraska all the way down to Missouri, parts of the mid-Mississippi River Valley. Let's continue in time here as we continue. Yeah, your Wednesday here, look at that. Yeah, with a few showers and thunderstorms here in the southern Appalachians, you'll have to eke out some of these showers and thunderstorms South Florida as well, maybe the western coast of Florida there as well. So, yeah, it's no major large-scale weather systems are to be had here as we continue. Look at, though, this is great news here for eastern Canada. Look at this. This is a big upper-level low, and you're going to be getting some heavy rain in these regions of southern Ontario and central and southern Quebec as well. So that's going to help the wildfire situation. As we continue here into August 3rd, you can see we do start to get some evidence that we're going to start to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms here across the St. Lawrence River Valley, eastern Lake Ontario region. And that could actually progress. We'll have to watch areas into the rest of New York, Pennsylvania, and Ohio here. Not Ohio, the New England region here. Ohio's looking really nice, actually, again. So, eking out another beautiful summer day here. And before we get into anything more, I have much more weather for you. Please stay seated and watching. Here's a quick word from my affiliate. Take a look at this. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code. So taking a look at the upper air pattern, there's that trough across the East Coast. It does weaken a little bit as we go through August 4th and 5th, but then it starts to re-strengthen, towards the middle of the weekend before weakening. And then we actually get a ridge developing just in time for later in the weekend here. But look at, there's a little trough here across the northern plains. Lots of ridging there across much of north-central Canada. But look at that trough there continuing across the east next week, August 10th and 11th. This has been the name of the game this summer. So if we take a look at the CFS medium range climate model, we go out through the rest of August here, and you can see, yeah, it is looking like troughiness continuing across the U.S. East Coast. We get a ridge by the third week of August, but can we really believe that? That's been happening again and again, popping up on the medium range. And look at that trough really carving out. Do we really want to talk about September 2nd here? Yeah, I know. It just starts to seem like winter is almost right around the corner here as we get later into summer here. But there's that trough continuing. This is a stubborn pattern. And Robert Stone here from the Dunkirk, New York area. Take a look at this. This was the other day. He had some thunderstorms with some hail that were moving off of Lake Erie and giving some beneficial rains here. Nice capture, Robert. And Robert Stone here sending in from his daughter, Jewel. Look at this over towards the Lake Erie region near Dunkirk. Take a look at this time-lapse video. Yeah, showing the storm clouds rolling in here slowly as they were progressing from west to east across the area. Look at that. Yeah, look at that big storm cloud just rolling in here from the west. Nice capture. And Robert here sending in some of his daughter's pictures. Jewel from the Dunkirk, New York area. Take a look at that. It's lightning across the region. Look at that. That is looking pretty nasty there. Also not a time lapse, but you can see some lightning here as well, continuing to progress as these storms were rolling. Look at that lightning. That's some nice captures there. Thanks, Robert and Jewel, for sending those in. And if we take a look at the European model here, let's skip around. Yeah, high pressure is dominating the east. That's wonderful. Yeah, if you have this week off, like I do, yeah, it is looking really nice here across the east until we get to about Thursday. Then we start to get into some shower and thunderstorm action here across the east. Look at this upper level low across eastern Canada. That's kind of carving out a little trough here as we continue to go in time. Friday, look at that. Yeah, showers and thunderstorms. I have to think this is going to be your worst day here along the East Coast. Yeah, that's definitely not looking the greatest. But look at that, by Saturday and Sunday, we clear it out across much of the east. What is going on here? We got an area of low pressure here off the Carolinas and Virginia coastline. That's spinning out to sea, thankfully. But look at this, by next Monday, August 7th, we are looking at big-time thunderstorms here across the Ohio Valley. So strong to severe thunderstorms will be likely by next Tuesday across the Northeast. Look at that. And that low pressure spins across eastern Canada, which is awesome news here. That helps bring the wildfire threat down even greater. So that is some great news there across the east. And another big pinwheeling low across the Great Lakes by August 11th there. Total liquid equivalent precipitation here. We're taking a look at the European model. So across the east, mostly dry as we head through the rest of the week. It's as we head towards Friday, Saturday. Yeah, you can start to see the pattern here. To start off the weekend, we really start to get some heavy rains here along the East Coast, in particular here. The Carolinas, we get that little low pressure, spitting up late week into the early weekend here, bringing some heavier rains here across the mid-Mississippi River Valley as well. But it's actually pretty dry across much of northern and eastern Ohio, much of western Pennsylvania here, and a good section of upstate New York until you get to eastern New York into New England here. And as we get up here and zoom into the northeast here, look at that. Ohio stays dry as well as much of Pennsylvania, except eastern Pennsylvania as we head towards, look at that. It's mainly as we get later Thursday night into Friday there. You start to see those heavier rains, so maybe some tropical downpours there across parts of New Jersey as we head towards Friday, just to start off the weekend there into eastern and central New England as well. And then as we head towards Monday, it stays mostly dry here. Cleveland, it looks like you're going to pick up your rainfall right around Sunday night. And wait, that's actually early. There it is, Monday. So as we get into early Monday morning, might get some rain developing as well. And that progresses east throughout the rest of New York and Pennsylvania. So take a look at temperatures here for you Wednesday, just baking across the center of the country. Look at here in the northeast, we're holding on to some 80, upper 70s and 80s from Cleveland all northeastward to Buffalo and Burlington and Boston, all in the upper 70s near 80. That is beautiful. But look at this, as we head throughout the week, Thursday, we are building the heat there across the Central Plains. Toasty out west as well. You're pretty tempered here across the east, anywhere from the 80s to the lower 90s, so that's not too bad for this time of year. As we continue in time, the Great Lakes and Northeast remain the cooler spots, upper 70s to near 80. Just baking across the Central Plains, I don't know if Texas in the last month or two has been, lower than the upper 90s. Just a triple-digit heat continuing here as we head into Friday, into Saturday. Take a look at this. This heat starts to, break here across the northern plains. Look at that into parts of the northeast, Cleveland, all the way to Binghamton, Boston. We're staying at, look at that, 70-degree line all the way down. That's really nice this time of year. And then into Sunday, August 6th, we bumped the temperatures up a bit. Ohio Valley, we are getting into the mid to upper 80s here, so watch out for that. As we get into Monday, August 7th here, take a look at this. Cooler temperatures reinforcing themselves across the northern plains. That'll be pivoting to the east, but look at 90s all the way up to Washington, D.C., for your Monday. Great Lakes, lower 80s. Extended outlook from hometown viewers. Binghamton to Scranton's upper Susquehanna River Valley. Look at this. Wednesday, increasing cloudiness, but it's no chance of rain. Beautiful day, 79 degrees, low humidity. Thursday, we get a chance of scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, mainly between 3 and 8 p.m., so watch out for that. I'm not expecting an all-day washout. So if you have outdoor plans, please continue them into Friday. Look at this. This is the day that looks a little more problematic. Showers and thunderstorms likely as that frontal boundary moving throughout the entire day, but mainly late morning, afternoon, and evening hours. Maybe up to a half an inch into Saturday. A beautiful day, 79 degrees, warmer on Sunday at 83. As always, thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Don't forget to visit my link down below for my Hurricane 2023 Outlook. If you haven't visited that, I go over the entire tropical season, what I think is going to happen. Also, don't forget my Trilogy Maps link affiliate down below. Use the code MeteoMark to get 20% off your order. I do make a little bit of commission off that, so just to disclose that. So there it is, and the link's down below. At Facebook, MeteoMark, you can visit me. Also, Weather Northeastern. Also, Hurricane Northeastern. It's also MeteoMark.com, Twitter @WeatherEastern. Thanks for joining me for this edition